I just wanted to ask you really about the character to start with, because Katniss is just such an extraordinary character, not just because she's brave and she's intelligent, but she's often the most the most courageous person in any scene. Is that important to you, that you're playing characters like that?
I wouldn't say important to me as much as I'm excited to get to play characters like that, because I think that every interesting story comes from strength, comes from somebody like that. But I also like that, I mean, she is incredibly brave and she's unbelievably strong, but she's also terrified during the whole, the whole time. She keeps, all she wants is to save her sister, for everything to be okay. She just doesn't want any war because she doesn't want any more death. And she kind of becomes the leader of this rebellion and this voice for war when really she doesn't want any of it. Sorry.
Because I think what strikes me is that when I talk to friends of mine who've got teenage daughters, they are so pleased to see this female role model, a young woman, being portrayed by that, because there's so few characters like that being portrayed in Hollywood. Does that strike you?
Yeah, there are. Yeah, it absolutely does. I growing up didn't have a female hero the way that Katniss is, and she's, yeah, I think she's a wonderful role model for young girls. I'm happy that they have a character like that.
You've voiced concerns about the pressure on women, young women in particular in Hollywood, to be thin, the kind of body fascism, if you like. I mean, how far would you, as an actress, be prepared to kind of try and sort of stave that pressure off? I mean, do you worry about being put under pressure to lose weight for a role? I mean, would you say no to a director if they told you to lose a few pounds?
Yeah, and I have. I think, when we were doing the first Hunger Games, it was a big discussion about, because it's called the Hunger Games. She's from District 12. She's obviously underfed, so she would be incredibly thin. But I was like, but I just kept saying that we have the ability to control this image that young girls are going to be seeing. We need to make girls see enough of this body that we can't imitate, that we'll never be able to obtain, these unrealistic expectations. And this is going to be their hero, and we have control over that. So it's kind of an amazing opportunity to rid ourselves of that in this industry. And also I think that it's better to, to look strong and healthy. And I feel like somebody, Kate Moss running at you with like a bow and arrow wouldn't really be scary.
What about the sexualization of young women? I mean, you've talked about the kind of the body image, but what about, I don't know, people like kind of Miley Cyrus? I mean, do you worry about women in music industry, Hollywood, young women like her being put under pressure to kind of be these sex objects?
I don't really worry about it. I mean, it's definitely something it's just kind of a part of this world. It's a part of the entertainment industry that sells. Sex sells, and for some disgusting reason, young sex sells even more. So it's not really something that I worry about, because I feel like everybody's kind of got their own path and they have their own way of finding themselves. And for some people, that's how they feel best, that's how they feel sexy, that's how they want to perform, and that's totally...
So twerking with a dwarf.
Twerking with a dwarf. I'm not by any means. I'm just saying, to each their own.
But in terms of roles going forward, how are you going to judge what kind of roles you take on? Are you going to worry about the effect that they might have on young girls?
I do right now, while I'm doing these movies, while I'm still Katniss, and if I'm doing a movie that's in the same rating as them. If I do a movie outside of the rating, when I was doing an R movie, and it was different because it's my audience it's not going to be the same audience. It's going to be an adult audience, not the, but yes, as long as I am Katniss, I do make conscious decisions that way.
And just finally, in terms of what you're prepared to do you think you would do any more photo shoots like GQ, Esquire again? Do you regret
Yeah,
doing them?
No, I don't regret doing them at all. That was something, it was necessary, you know, it was a PR move, basically, that I was completely comfortable with. No, I don't have any regrets like that.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.